They want to eliminate what they call the deep state. The deep state is a cadre of professionals dedicated to honoring the Constitution, the laws of this country, and carrying out the policies of the Congress and the President. The deep state dedicated to carrying out the policies of the President. The deep state dedicated to carrying out the policies of the President.
Okay, everybody, it is the Zoo. Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. I'm going to tell you, we cover more facts, more topics, more widely, I think, than anyone else. I think our coverage is great. Our understanding of the subject matter is top-notch. I think we've got great insights here, and it is up to you guys to make that happen, and you make it happen. Whether it's through the week or on Sunday Night Live, where we've got the preparedmind.club, subscribe star, and YouTube. Folks, this is where it gets done, where it goes, and we spread the word. This show is only as good as you guys. And so every time we have a show where I'm like, that was a good fucking show, it's because you guys made it that way. I need you to support this channel, the content that's on here, and it kicks ass. Ooman and I were talking about this before the broadcast. That's the only way this show goes. When it's like top notch is when you guys participate, and you have some great starts to this show already. And Sunday Night Live, the Zoo, is up to you guys. If you want to talk, comment, question, we got a super chat button down below. We got PayPal, Venmo, and CashApp. That's how you donate and you get a question on the screen. It's a great way to support the channel because YouTube has cut us off. Censorship, folks. Censorship.
Have you any idea how successful censorship is on TV? Don't know the answer? Successful, isn't it?
The success is by silencing people. If you don't hear it, you don't even know you're missing it. And that's what pisses me off so much, is they silence us so America can't hear what you are thinking about. They're thinking it a little bit. They're like, I don't know if I like that whole Congress-Ukraine thing. Let me see if anyone's talking about it. And they find nothing. And they're like, well, I guess no one else gives a fuck. I guess it must be fine. I guess since only 14 members of the House voted against Ukraine, that it's no big deal. No, it's fucking treason, folks. It's treason. As far as I'm concerned, it's treason, and all the Republicans are not Republicans. I'm pissed off. This show's going to get nasty, folks. Let's start out, though. Super chat number 1 is Chin Music with a 5308. That's right, a 308, which is the same caliber as the bullet that's lodged in this shot glass. Here's to you, Chin Music, Semper Fi. God bless America. Woo! Scotch. Mother's milk. All right. I actually, before the show, I told man, I was over in the prepared pantry and I eyeballed a bottle of Southern Comfort. And now that I'm way down south here, I got me a shot of that Southern Comfort, and it's comforting. But get this, folks. Yeah. Chin Music's comments, his questions were the same as my top story. If I spend too much time just hammering this bullshit down, I'll lose my fucking mind. So we're going to touch on it, touch on other topics, touch on it, go to other SHTF, touch on it, and we're going to go back and forth. But it is your show. It is Sunday Night Live. Now, let's see, $61 billion going to Ukraine to support them in a war that everyone knows they're losing and they're going to lose. In fact, now people are going, you know what? We haven't seen a whole lot of war footage, period. In fact, the only footage that's on YouTube and Instagram and Twitter X is Ukrainians partying it up at their nightclubs, outside, during the day, at night. They're not huddled in their bunkers, huddled in their basements. Woo, that scotch is working. They're not huddled at all. Fear, of missiles raining down on them. No, they're fucking partying it up. Why? Because we're now sending them another $61 billion. Oh, not to mention 20 billion going to Israel. In fact, people have had enough of that shit as well. They're saying, look, we don't give a fuck. You guys want to kill each other over there? You do it. Leave us out of it. Stop stealing our fucking money by begging it and buying it out of our congressmen, saying, well, send us $1 billion, send us 20 billion, send us 50 billion. We'll make sure you get your 10% kickback after we launder it for you and then put it in a numbered bank account so you can live like a fucking king when you're done screwing America over in Congress. I am sick and tired of these people. They're fucking traitors. Now, let's get back here to Chin Music. He says, only 14 members of the House voted against Ukraine aid. That's 3%. The Senate will be worse. You're right. We ain't voting our way out of this. No, we're not going to vote our way out of this, folks. We are not. Now, MAGA Mike Johnson. Make America great again, Mike Johnson. You know how he made America great again? By telling all of us, you and me, that white privilege is a problem in this country and that we need to address. That's a fucking problem in this country. The southern border is not a fucking problem, MAGA Mike. Oh, it's way worse, folks. Right? MAGA Mike Johnson allowed the vote for this $95 billion to support wars outside of this country when we have a war right here. I tell you what, I am not going to tell you to do anything illegal, unlawful, dangerous, mean. I'm not glamorizing or glorifying shit. Fuck you, YouTube. I'm not doing anything wrong, but I'm going to tell you this. There will be violence in this country. People are going to stand up and say enough of that shit, and they're going to drag these eco-terrorists out of the road by their fucking hair or their ear or their fucking short hairs between their legs and throw them in the fucking bushes. People are going to get together and not allow themselves to be arrested and start fixing the problems. I'm not recommending it or glamorizing it. It's going to happen. We can't vote our way out of this, so we're going to have to fight our way out of this. But the vote comes first, folks. The vote will come first. It's coming. We've got to vote this winter, or rather fall, for president. And we're going to find out if they're going to give us a decent, fair election. And even if we get that, don't worry. There's going to be trouble. Darcy T, please email me your question. Oops, there we go. This is Darcy's question. I got it here. Oh, let's not forget, Darcy did a $50 super chat donation. There it is, Glenn Levitt, 15-year and another shot to get me wound up because we're going to go at it. Cheers, folks. This is to America, the red, white, and blue. The flag gets wet, the colors never run. Real Americans, folks, we're going to have our chance. We'll either succeed or fail. Fucking pissed off today. All right. Yeah. So weekend I rested, cleared my mind, started reading shit, and lost my mind. Darcy T says this. Welcome back, John. Is it me or was the Iranian retaliation a bit milquetoast? Not that I want any violence, but it seems that most of their missiles, etc., landed in the desert. Are they really that lame? Thank you, Darcy T. And here is my comment on that. Yes. We were waiting for the Iranian attack on Israel. It was them launching the equivalent of Iraqi Scuds 30 freaking years ago in Gulf War I. They launched Scuds, and they're like balloons where you just like open the end and they land wherever they fucking land. And Israel kind of shot down a bunch and then missed a bunch. I mean, when you shoot a missile up in the air at night and it just blows up, that doesn't mean it fucking hit anything. And in any event, to me, it was milquetoast. And so then we had to wait a whole fucking week for the Israeli response, which was, 3 or 4 missiles that hit some areas of Iran. And now today, this weekend, Iran is like, okay, we understand that you shot something at us and we're going to get mad again and it's going to get worse. Are these fucking people serious? Are they going to have a war or not? We may as well just, fuck it. Let's do it. Get it on. Let's go, Iran, you bunch of pussies. I mean, the fucking students, college students in America cheering you on, they've got more balls than the Ayatollah there, or the Tola, or the whatever the fuck he is, the Khomeini. It used to be the Ayatollah Khomeini when I was a kid. I don't know what he is. Now he's the whatever the fuck he is. We're going to find out, folks. The fucking around has started. The finding out is coming. Are you prepared? Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and your plan. Are you ready? Are you ready for these fucking people to kill each other, to try killing us? Are you ready to take action on your own behalf? Are you going to be stupid about it? Are you going to be careless about it? Are you going to be reckless about it? Or are you going to be well-planned and well-prepared? Because when it starts, I don't think it's going to be a quick deal. I really felt that in 2020, shit had hit the fan. Shit had hit the fan between all the protesting and violence and crap and the Cerveza bug. But I thought it would end relatively quick. They drugged that shit on a long time. Did they not? Well, when this shit finally gets going, I'm thinking they're going to have some steam under it. In America, they're really pushing this racial crap all over us. And it's frustrating to me because I see these racist black leaders from their communities saying the most awful racist shit, including the mayor of fucking Baltimore, who wants to give money they don't have. Somehow he's going to get $1 billion or so dollars. Is it a fucking billion? It was a lot. I've got it here in my list somewhere. He's going to give that to black-only art. What? No white people allowed. This fucking racism is pissing me off. But then every black person I run into, folks, every black person, at the very least, is polite and normal. And most of them, 95% of them, are fucking jovial as fuck with me. But the ones I see on the news, on TV, on the internet, they're a bunch of racist assholes because that's what they're wanting us to see. Are you prepared? Do you understand that all the black people aren't bad, even though that's what the TV wants you to believe is they're bad because they hate you, Whitey, and Whitey, you're supposed to hate the blacks, and back and forth. That's what they want. They want us to fight. They're pushing for another St. George Floyd moment. They're pushing for it. It's incredible. Anyways, let's do this. Darcy T got hers in. Chin Music got his in. Mr. Ooman, who do we have next that wants to step up? Super chat donation. Gonna have some fun. Gonna talk about some shit. And it is Dan Erickson. Hey, Dan, welcome back to the show. $10 super chat button. We're at 300 people live. And we just started this show. We'll be on here 2 hours. 2 hours talking about it. Unless you guys want to talk more. Now, Dan says, had a relaxing couple hours at the pistol range this morning. We'll be cleaning 2 pistols and 2 suppressors while watching the show. I tell you what, when you get in the zone, it's wonderful. Whether it's bow and arrow, guns, fucking slingshot, going fishing, hanging out with your family, whatever it is, if you can get your mind off this other shit, you're in great shape. I had some relaxation this weekend, but the moment I turned this on, I was right back there. Fucking pissed off. But I recommend, folks, no matter what you do, you realize that none of us get through life alive, because at the end of every life is death. We die. What really matters isn't how we die alone. It's how we lived and how we made it through our life. That's what's going to matter. Will my sons, will my family, will my country remember me? And does it matter if my country remembers me? Right? We all remember George Washington. Some people think he's a good guy. Other people think he was a racist slave owner son of a bitch. right? It's just unbelievable. Anyways, thank you for supporting the show, Dan. Clean your guns. Very important, clean your guns. When I got out of the Marine Corps, they beat into us. Keep your M16 clean, bam, keep that thing clean. That's your life. I used to have, when I was younger in my 20s, nightmares, literal nightmares about guns not functioning, guns not firing. That's how bad it was. That's how funny it is. But yeah, clean guns, folks. Keep it clean. Keep it nice. Whatever you do, get good with it. Some people like a 9mm. Some people like a 45. Some people like revolvers. Some people like shotguns. Whatever it is you do, get good at it. Get good at it. All right. Let's do this. Super chat donation button is up there. Jolene says we've got some more to do. Let's do it. I've got a list a mile long to talk about, but if you guys are here, get that back up there. You guys are ready. Let's talk about what you want to talk about. It is your show. Nancy Keg with a $10 super chat donation. If my last name was Keg, that'd be great. I think I would have gotten an invite to every single kegger out there. But I'm sure Nancy did as well. Anyway, she says, now that you have gone to sunny Florida, are you going to continue with your aquatic adventures with you and Lily? Well, a little off topic, but the answer is yes. The Aquatic Adventures channel is going to continue. What I'm having a hard time with, though, Nancy, is not really having aquatic adventures. It's time. It's time. There was a time when the YouTube money was enough to pay the bills. The super chats paid the bills. It kept me prepared. It gave me free time to think, study, and go out and affect things. But now, because of Biden, because of the Democrats, because of the economy, I've got to do the fucking 9-to-5 bullshit. And it's just having time to put these videos together for the Aquatic Adventures. It's still great because Aquatic Adventures is training. I'm out in the water. I'm enjoying. I'm getting some life, right? You've got to, kind of like Dan, you got to get away and get in the zone, clear your head. But I can't wait to do some more Aquatic Adventures. We've got some footage. It's just time I don't have. Time. I don't want to pitch too much, folks, but they have put the fucking hurt to us through censorship. That's again why I put Max Headroom, who made that statement, folks, over 30 years ago about censorship, saying back then, censorship, if you don't realize it's happening, it's effective. Well, their censorship, they now tie to money. If they can't just silence you, they'll punish you financially. And they're doing it. By the way, Venmo is now owned by PayPal. So I've got Venmo and PayPal down here. PayPal got rid of me. They didn't like the fact that we were selling antibiotics and CBD oil, which is not weed, it's CBD. Cannabinoid oil, it kind of cures cancer. We talked about hydroxychloroquine. We talked about ivermectin. They killed me that way. And PayPal or Patreon got rid of us too because we were talking about the poor fruitcakes too much. Oh, the poor little butt pirates. They don't like us making fun of them. Well, we're pointing out what they're doing, and what they're doing is fucking evil. They're a bunch of evil pricks. Anyways, it is the Zoo. There it is. Up there it is. Zoo. We're live. We are live right now on YouTube, thepreparedmind.club and subscribestar.com. Jolene, where are we going next? Who is there? And it is Fishman with a $5 super chat donation. He says, hey, I don't have much to say other than it's really disgusting what's happening in America to us. Oh, you bet it. It's fucking disgusting. The left, folks, and the left now includes an incredible amount of Republicans in Congress. I mean, how could they vote to give our money away when there are American veterans being denied? They're being denied VA benefits. They're just being fucking denied everything. They're on the street homeless. They need a lot of help. How about this? How about Americans who are on the street and need help and they can't get it? No, send our fucking money to other countries because, they'll do little money laundering for the politicians. They couldn't give a shit about this country anymore. It's a fucking sellout show. waving fucking Ukraine flags in Congress while there are cemeteries full of dead Americans, patriots, soldiers, Marines, airmen, Navy that died for this country so we can have freedom and liberty and be protected from the world, and they're just giving it away. It is disgusting, Fishman. It is disgusting, and it pisses me the fuck off. I mean, where do you go? Where do we go? I mean, here, let me give you an example, Fishman. Retarded, ridiculous Democrat representative in Congress. His name is Gerald Connolly. In front of God and the world declared, the Ukrainian-Russian border is our border, meaning the United States' border. Now, listen, I think a little differently. One, I do disagree with him. That's not our fucking border. Ukraine is not the 51st state. But let me take this cocksucker at his word. Let's take Gerald Connolly, Democrat, communist, traitorous sack of shit, at his word. If the Ukraine border is the same as the U.S. border, there should be no money spent and no one guarding the fucking thing. I think differently. Okay, if that border is our border, Biden should just abandon it, right? But that's what should happen. That's not our fucking border. That is the United States government's money laundering operation, and that's why they're protecting it with your money, my fucking taxes. And they're continuing to threaten our children and grandchildren with war if we don't stop Russia. Like I said, the fucking Ukrainian people are busy fucking partying and fucking each other because it is a party over there with our money. Are they worried about Russia storming through their fucking country? The military rolling? No. Russia is doing exactly what they said they would do. They're securing the eastern Ukraine provinces that wanted to be free of Ukraine because they were ethnically cleansing, that is to say, murdering Russians because they're murdering. And that's it. They're slowly and methodically beating the fuck out of Ukraine. At the same time, they're exhausting United States and UK, that is United Kingdom, armaments. I've got more on this right now. And fuck you, Gerald Connolly, and everyone else who voted to give Ukraine our money. It's beyond, folks. It's beyond. It is beyond. Oh, by the way, while we're talking about our military being depleted by sending our munitions over there to be fired at Russia, last week we had an American munition factory, that is a bomb-making place, explode in fire. And guess what happened over the weekend? Now, once again, ships get out of control all the time. Barges get loose. Things crash in rivers, but bridges don't always fall. Trains come off the track all the fucking time. Railroad accidents, but they don't always fall, leak, explode in flames, and rain toxic fucking waste down on places. Right? But in the UK, guess what happened to them over the weekend? Their munitions factory, one of theirs, exploded in flames. Coincidence? I don't fucking believe in them. We have sent, and folks, the United Kingdom and the United States, we have both sent a massive percentage. We are a shortage of artillery and armament to fight war. And their factory and one of our factories is now gone up in smoke. Coincidence? I think not. Third time will be a fucking charm and remove all doubt. They're giving away all our shit, and then, oops, we can't make as much as we should. Meanwhile, Russia has figured out how to go onto a war economy, produce all the munitions and ammunition they need, and supply their side, no problem, all while their economy is thriving. Well, let me tell you why. Because they're selling oil and gas and uranium, that is to say, nuclear fuel for our reactors in the West. They're selling all of that to us. They're selling all of that to us. So they're making money, they're profiting. And don't worry, Joe Biden has on his desk almost a ban on Russian nuclear material, uranium, finished products. They could at any time ban all Russian oil and gas. And don't worry, they'll just sell it to India, China, and any other country they feel like that is not part of the United States, Europe coalition, if you will. It's just getting fucking stupid, folks. It's getting stupid. It really is just stupid. We're almost at 400 people live. We've got a lot more shit going on. Jolene, who's up next? If you got something to say, something you want to think about, super chat donation right up there, that button. Here's Chin Music with a $9.99 super chat. And he says, it's almost go time. And unlike the fruit salad crowd, the pipes I'm lubing are exit only. Oh my God, Chin, you're fucking hilarious. What he means by that is the fruit salad crowd is the LGB butt pirates. Right? Right. And the pipe he's lubing isn't the anus. It is the barrel. You should be using CLP on your rifles. Cleaner lubricant preservative. Good stuff. Now, keep them clean. If you've got a dry bolt on your AR, you know what I'm talking about. Keep it clean, keep it dry. And if not, keep it lubed. But yeah, I know what you're saying, man. It's going to be a one-way shit show. I believe 98 or 97% of all weapons in this country owned by civilians are owned by Republicans, moderate Republicans to radical freedom-loving Republicans. Isn't it crazy how having your freedoms, Mr. Music, is considered radical? Radical. How the fuck is that radical to love freedom and liberty? If they could get us, folks, if they could get us, they would, but they can't. Imagine how tyrannical this fucking government would be if you didn't have 99, 98% of all the weapons in America, not counting the government weapons. Imagine that. Imagine what they would do if behind every door there wasn't 3 or 4 barrels pointed at the door and saying, what do you want? Now, of course, the criminals are out there doing criminal things, and criminals are criminals. They're not Americans protecting their rights. And anyone who wants to confiscate weapons, I will support. I'll give them the Florida plan. Right in Florida, let's see, Sheriff Grady Judd in Polk County, Florida, says this, right? If someone comes through your door illegally, you shoot them and blow them right back out the door. That goes for anyone violating anyone's property rights, First Amendment rights, Second Amendment rights, Fourth Amendment rights, Fifth Amendment rights, 10th Amendment rights, 7th Amendment, all of them. It is going to be go time. Now, I'm not promoting violence. I'm saying that when things go wrong, violence is the only way things are settled. And if it wasn't for the government making that case every single day, I might not put 1 and 2 together and make 3. Right? Anytime the government doesn't get its way, what does it do? It responds with fucking guns and violence, whether it's in another country using our military or in this country using the FBI. And speaking of the FBI, guess what Tucker Carlson said over the weekend? He made a point this weekend of talking about something I have talked about. I called this shit out 5 years ago, folks. This is what the FBI does. Tucker Carlson says the politicians in Washington, D.C. are terrified of intel agencies framing them with kiddie porn. That means the FBI and CIA, but mostly the FBI. The CIA is busy trying to figure out how to get back into Niger, how to get back into Eastern Ukraine, how to get back into Russia and try and assassinate Putin again. They're concerned about how to trying to get into all these countries and taking them over. That's what the CIA is worried about. Domestically, it's the FBI. Now, for a bunch of LGB butt pirates, that's what I think of the FBI. I think they're a bunch of limp-wristed, skinny jeans wearing sissies with bulletproof vests, badges, and fully automatic weapons. That's who they are. How many people do they have to kill? Tucker Carlson said politicians are afraid of being framed for kiddie porn. Could that be why Congress decided they're going to give away our fucking money yet again? And Republicans, everyone but what, 14, 15, 13, whatever the number is? And the motion to vacate by Boebert, Gosier, Marge Taylor Greene, and the few Republicans is not going to be enough because they want him done. This is fucking treason. Now, they're of course, they're putting bills forward to make no flag. There will be no flag in Congress other than the American flag. That should pass. That should be a no fucking brainer. All the men and women who have died for this country, freedom and liberty, who are in the ground, who sacrificed their lives just so these fuckers can give our money away to Ukraine and Israel. In fact, some jackass congressman, a Republican, showed up on the news with a lapel pin of Ukraine and Israel together. And guess what he didn't have on his fucking lapel? The chicken shit cocksucking traitor did not have an American flag. It's not that the other flags were above the American flag. There was no American flag. And I'll tell you what, yeah, that's exactly what the FBI does, is they frame people with kiddie porn. I called that 5 fucking years ago. I talked about how people are afraid of them in government. And here they are today. Now it's out. Anyways, I think all these congressmen should just move to California. Because in California, it's not a felony to try and buy a child as a sex slave. Nope. In California, it's just fine. Go to California. You'll be safe there. Fucking fruitcakes. The whole country, folks, going to shit. We're at 450 people live. This show is kicking some ass. Share the internet address up there. Share it. Hit the thumbs up button right now. First time I've said it this show, hit the thumbs up button. Hit the thumbs up button. And, of course, share. Share that internet address. Text, email, fucking carrier pigeon, flaming arrow. Don't do a flaming arrow. It's that bad, though, folks. It's that bad. It really is. Okay. I'm going to stay on this a little longer until I lose my shit. There is a Republican. This rhino Republican. That's right. He's a Republican in name only, but a Republican. You have something to say about these people, I want to hear it. Super chat button or down below super chat ways. Folks, this is getting nasty, and I don't want to be the only one, but understand I'm fucking pissed. As an American, as a father, as a man, as a Christian, as a fucking Marine, I've had it with these fucking people. And this shit-stained, shit-heel, shit-licking piece of crap, Tony Gonzalez. He has called the other Republicans who will not do what he wants. He's calling them real scumbags on CNN. He is comparing Republicans who do not agree with him and these sellouts in Congress. He's comparing them to the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan. It's in the open now, folks. These rhinos are not even hiding it anymore. They may as well be Democrats. They've sold us out. The war starts soon. And Chin Music knows it, and I know it, and we all fucking know it. Nobody wants to say it, though. They want to pretend like everything's cool. No, it's fine. It's okay. They can have some more money. It's cool. It's fine. I don't have to say nothing. It's cool. It'll just go away. It'll fix itself, right? It'll fucking fix itself. No, it's not going to. It's not going to. And you are not safe anymore. Not as an American. It used to be, fuck those Palestinians over there. Israel can take care of itself. Fuck Ukraine and fuck Russia. Screw the Europeans. They're a bunch of socialists anyway. right? That was our attitude. Well, you're not safe in America anymore, anywhere. Even if the police are not defunded in America, you're still not safe. In Houston, Texas, folks, the police union has come out and told Texas and Texans, and they warned everyone there that Texas is not safe, quote, not safe, because, quote, many suspected murderers are walking the streets. They're on the streets in this country. Suspected murderers are just running loose in Texas, and the police can't help you. All these illegals have to do now is pull a 2020 George Floyd moment and start rioting. What do you fucking think they've been doing on the bridge in San Francisco, at the airport in Chicago, in the streets and bridges of New York, and all over the country? They've decided we can get out of hand, we can come out in big numbers, and the police can't and won't do anything. There's too many of us. You are on your own. You are not safe anymore anywhere. Period. It is coming. What do you think? What is on your mind? I mean, I've been talking about Congress and Ukraine. I've been talking about these fruitcake dipshits all over the place. What are you thinking about? Tell me what's on your mind. Tell me what's on your mind. Okay, Jolene, let's have it. We're almost at 500 people live. And Monica Kelly steps in with a $2 super sticker. Thank you very much, Monica Kelly. Folks, the support for this channel keeps me here. I would love to have more time to do everything, and you guys make it happen. Without you, the show disappears. It goes away. With you, we can get the message out, and it's only because of you. I can only sit here and talk. But you guys, by sharing that internet address and hitting the thumbs up, make it harder for them to use censorship to silence us. Silence us. You know, not only, I'm going to fucking jump right on it again. Not only is Biden fucking up our country, but he's continuing to fuck up other countries. Well, rather, the point of us being there. Now, everyone knows about Afghanistan and how Biden committed an act of treason and gave $85 billion worth of military armament, hardware, tanks, helicopters, missiles, bombs, rockets, missiles, bombs, rockets, rifles, ammunition, uniforms, equipment, tanks, more tanks, tanks for nothing, Biden, Humvees, everything, MRAPs, everything, $85 billion worth. In one day, he just said, Taliban have Afghanistan. Well, guess what? In the country of Niger, the U.S. abused them, and they finally said, you know what? Fuck it. First off, they threw out the CIA-run government in Niger. And Niger, folks, it's an African nation. It's a third world shithole. They've got no money, apparently. It's Niger. Well, why didn't it have money? Why is it so fucking poor? Why is it a third world shithole? I went to a third world shithole just a couple weeks ago. They didn't have oil. They didn't have uranium. They didn't have minerals to mine. It's a fucking third world tiny shithole of a country over here close to America. But Niger has uranium, has oil, has minerals, and they're still being kept as a third world shithole country. Why? Because it's like a miniature Ukraine. And France and America were fucking with them. And they finally said, enough of this shit. They threw out their government in a coup. The CIA has been trying to get it back, and they can't. The new government of Nigerians said, France, get the fuck out of here. And I bet you did not know it. But approximately 1,000 to 1,200 United States military personnel were basically abandoned by Joe Biden in the country. Now, because Biden promised to abandon the U.S. air base that the U.S. military has in Niger, because they promised to abandon it, they're going to release 1,000 U.S. soldiers who did not have, folks, medicine and the ability to care for themselves. Basically, they've been there in Niger suffering because of Biden and his bullshit and all the crap they played. It's the whole thing. He's fucking everything up. 500 people live, folks. We haven't had that for a couple of weeks. This is great. Keep sharing that internet address up there. Hit the thumbs up. Let's keep going. What do you want to talk about? Hit the super chat button. Get your comments in. Get your questions in. And let's get it on. Jolene, who is next? We got, oh shit, we got Chelsea Polzine with a $49.99 super chat donation. And $50 or more, of course, means I get a drink of scotch. Probably the most tasty antidepressant on the planet. It's a depressant. It's an antidepressant. It's a pain reliever. It's for relaxing. It's for winding you up. It's, you know, that before all the painkillers, all the antidepressants, even aspirin, folks. Before that, we had scotch. Oh man, Chelsea, thank you very much. It says, first time watching the show. Husband said you do a shot for the donation. Indeed. Thank you very much. Go ahead. Welcome as a first timer. That's fucking great news. Now, is this is your first time watching? I am a former, or am still, because once a Marine, always a Marine, United States Marine. I am an American. I am a patriot. I am a man. I am a Christian. I'm an American. I love the Constitution. The Declaration of Independence is mandatory reading in my family. You should read it at least once a month and remind yourself what was done then and what is coming today because of what these people are doing to us. I try and talk to everyone every day. If they're willing and the time is right, I'm not just an open big mouth idiot every day, folks, out in the non-broadcast world. But I wait for opportunities to educate people and help them understand. Get their fucking heads out of the ass or out of the sand. You know, in order to put your head in the sand to ignore everything, you've got to bend over and stick your ass up in the air. So you don't see what's going on, but you're getting nailed in the ass. Oh yeah, we all are. It's time to pull our heads out of the sand and stand up tall and proud like Americans. And tell our government they're not going to get away with this shit. They will be held accountable. I am not promoting violence or insurrection or anything negative. But there will be, because the government is. That is all governments, folks, around the world. But especially the United States government in D.C., they use violence and the threat of violence to get their way politically. And if we were to use a threat of violence or violence, they call it terrorism, and arrest you. Funny how they can do exactly what they say we can't, but they call it their authority and their duty. And if we do it, they call it insurrection. Unfucking believable. In fact, you don't even have to commit violence. They'll just arrest you and say that you're an insurrectionist, that you're violent. Unbelievable. Thank you, Chelsea, very much. Jolene, who is next? What do we got coming? We got Dan Erickson back with another $10 super chat donation. He says, when I grew up in the 60s and graduated in the 70s, I don't remember one school shooting ever. Not one. Imagine that. Hard to comprehend how the youth these days have ran off the rails. Sad. Well, I'll tell you what, it gets better than that. It gets better than that. Get this. It's not just the kids, Dan. It's the fucking teachers. It's the fucking teachers. In Nashville, that's right, Tennessee again, folks. A teacher there has threatened to, quote, shoot up a preschool. Shoot up a preschool. Well, folks, another Democrat shoots off their mouth before actually using a gun to shoot off at children. These are all Democrats, folks. And most of them are LGBTQIA trans fruitcakes. Now, this is important, folks. I want you to understand. Everything that's going on now is not just Biden's fault. School shootings are not just Biden's fault. They're not just Nancy Pelosi's fault. They're not just Chuck Schumer's fault. It's not just Congress in Washington, D.C. You want to know whose fault it is? I'll tell you. You're surrounded by them every day. You see them every day. And they're the ones doing this to you and your family and your children. They are every stinking Democrat out there. They all get a share of the blame. You want to know why? Because they voted to put Pelosi in and Chuck Schumer. They voted to put Biden in, and it's their fault. The Democrats in your neighborhood, the Democrats in your state, they are to blame. Do not forget them in the future. When they just go, oh, I didn't do nothing. I'm just a regular person. No, you're a Democrat. You get a share. The same way the Democrats accuse you of being a Klansman. They accuse you of being a white supremacist, even if you're black or Native American or Chinese or Hispanic or South American or wherever the fuck you're at in the world. They'll blame you as a Republican for everything. I blame them. And if I get a chance, I'll make them pay. I've had it. When the enemy comes to kill us, who do they call on? When there's a war around the world, who do they call? They call on the United States Marines. They call on the Army. They call infantry. They call special forces. They call all the supporting elements. They call the Navy. And we're expected to fight like hell and kill the enemy. But here in America, when they attack us, we're just supposed to sit back and fucking take it. At some point, they got their cute little movie out, Civil War, which is a left-wing propaganda-filled sack of shit show. Even if it's only 95% of the American weapons in civilian hands, even if it's only 95% are owned by Republicans, folks, there's no comparison. No comparison. Yeah, teachers are shooting up schools as well, folks. Teachers. Understand. Thank you, Dan. It's not just Biden. It's Democrat voters who have done this. An illegal alien from Haiti arrested for double murder in New York. And guess what? They were released into the United States because of Biden's illegal immigrant application app. They got an app on their phone for illegals. You just download the app and just let yourself in the fucking country. Oh, yes, I promise to be good. Beep, beep, beep. I promise that I am who I say, and beep, beep, beep. I promise not to kill, hurt, or harm anyone. Beep, 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 beep. You know what they're doing now? These Democrat-empowered illegals won't let kids play soccer or baseball or football or any sport on a field if they're there first. They say, hey, we're here. This is our field. Showed up in the news. It's finally showing up in the news. They infiltrated our fucking schools. Remember that? When they said, well, we're just going to house these immigrants in schools. Folks, in England, the government is so overwhelmingly concerned with the illegals, they're making people sell their homes cheap. They're making people basically give their fucking homes away, kicking them out of their homes to put illegals in their homes. Read, please, the Third Amendment. We don't talk about it much to the U.S. Constitution. It has to do with housing or quartering soldiers in private homes. These people that are here from other countries, they're fucking mercenaries here to destroy our country. They're the same as mercenary soldiers or any soldiers for that matter. And the government is forcing them into people's homes in England, and they're going to do it here. They're like, well, you should put illegals in your house. You should invite them in. Oh, so they can be fucking squatters? That's brilliant. We've got a fight coming, folks. Understand, it's not just Biden. It's Democrat voters who have done this to this country. Fuck them. Fuck them. I mean, in England, the police filmed on the street with audio threatening a Jewish person for being openly Jewish. Hey, you're openly Jewish and you're walking near a Palestinian protest. Don't make us arrest you. I guess being openly Jewish is an arrestable offense, but being a violent Muslim who threatens murder to individuals and entire nations is perfectly fine. Fuck you, England. Fuck you, DC, for pushing this shit. Hell is coming, folks. Hell is coming to all. Never forget who did this, folks. Every Democrat voter did this to our country. Every Democrat voter is responsible for what's going on in our schools and to our children. Every Democrat voter is responsible for the FBI and what they do. Every Democrat voter is responsible for all of this. I am not telling you to commit acts of violence, anything illegal or unlawful. I'm not telling you to bully anyone. I'm telling you to be Americans. Be Americans. Jolene, and we, by the way, we're over 500 people live. Share the internet address. Hit the thumbs up button. Let's get it on. Thank you to all for buying me drinks of scotch. You've lit my fucking fuse tonight. Woo! Feeling it good. Feeling it good. Jolene, who's up next on the Prepared Mind channel? It is Mr. Skylight with a $19.99 super chat donation. And God bless you there, Mr. Skylight. Thank you again. And he has this. A wise man once said, you have two choices. Evolve or repeat. And he, Mr. Skylight, folks, listen, I've talked to this gentleman personally. Nice guy. The kindest heart. Good soul. He says many will not survive what's coming. See, you're not bad or wrong or guilty or to blame for knowing in your mind what's going to happen because you've seen it coming. It doesn't make you bad to warn others about what's happening. In fact, it means you've got a good heart if you're warning people what's coming because you don't want them to be hurt or killed or to suffer. And that's why I've been here for 10 fucking years telling people, get prepared. Shit is going to hit the fan. And then in 2020, shit hit the fan. I said, get prepared more. You still have time. Get prepared. In fact, get this. I had a relative come and visit at the prepared bunker. And you know what this person said? Seriously. When I go to the store now, I buy extra food. I was like, why should I be surprised by that? Right? I always buy extra food when I can. But no, she says, I can't help it now. I realize what I'm doing. I'm prepping. And I can't stop it. I know it's necessary. I have just a little bit of money and I get what I need and then a little bit more. And I'm like, good, right? It's fucking sinking in. People are realizing it. Get what you can. Make sure you've got enough money because it's coming. It's coming, folks. Thank you, Mr. Skylight. You have two choices, evolve or repeat. Guess what's happening right now? I thought the world changed after the American and French revolutions. When England and the other monarchy and they're all related in Europe said, you know what? We're losing our heads. We're getting our asses kicked. We're getting assassinated as kings and political leaders and aristocrats because we're fucking the people and screwing them over and stealing their shit. And they said, okay, everyone come up with your own governments. You can self-govern. Now they're taking it back. Every last country is taking it back. These rich fuckers behind the scenes have been buying everything up. They've bought up the politicians. And now we're not going to evolve. I thought we had evolved and we learned our fucking lesson that freedom was the way to go. That capitalism, not cronyism, not fascism, but capitalism worked. We don't have capitalism in America, folks. We don't. No, not capitalism. You know what we have? We have fascism. We have corporations and rich bankers paying off politicians. We have companies, or rather, yeah, it's a fucking company, folks. The FBI. It should be the Federal Bureau Incorporated because they're a little business and they're running their business, folks. And they will frame whoever they have to and arrest whoever they have to if you don't behave and do what the rich people say. That's why so many Republicans out there just said, fuck it, we're going to vote for sending money to Ukraine. Let's just enrich ourselves and fuck everyone else. That's not evolving, folks. That's asking for a repeat. It's asking for a repeat. And I don't think it'll be as pretty as the American Revolution was. It'll be more like the French Revolution here and everywhere. Because the French were not trying to get rid of the English king the way the American colonists were trying to get rid of the English king's soldiers and men. The French were getting rid of their own government. And then they couldn't decide how to run a government properly. And so they ended up continuing. Once they killed all of the aristocrats, they continued to terrorize and murder one another. In other words, it was a political revolution, and then it was a partisan revolution, and it was a mess. Many will not survive what's coming. You are absolutely correct, Mr. Skylight. And thank you, sir, for all your great support, for helping nurture my sense of humor. And that's a good thing. Folks, 550 people live on the Prepared Mind channel. We're kicking ass. We're informing people. We're waking up America. We're getting prepared because we're not the bad guys. Washington, D.C., state capitals, they're full of the bad guys because they're selling us out. They're screwing us over. And they're allowing sick, fucked up people to hurt us, our families, our children. That's what's going on. And also around the world, folks. And guess what? Matt Gaetz, Florida representative to the United States Congress, Matt Gaetz, had the Army Secretary in Congress and embarrassed the dumb son of a bitch because of the Biden regime's cover-up in Niger. They need to be exposed. Let's expose them. Let's talk about them. All the U.S. troops that were stuck in Niger without medicine and water, folks, they've now been finally released. Yep, Biden once again abandoning our people, abandoning our country, what's important to us. Fucking jerk off. Fucking jerk off. Just like the Baltimore mayor. Millions, folks, not billions, but millions of dollars going to black-only arts. It's discrimination. This fucker in Baltimore. This little shit. He is a little shit. He violates the 14th Amendment, folks. The Equal Rights Act or acts, the equal rights legislation has been in place for over 50 years. Was supposed to elevate blacks, right? To take away the hindrances. I want to know why aren't civil rights groups suing the fuck out of this black racist mayor? Can you imagine? Imagine this. Imagine a whites only benefit where whites are the only ones to get money for nothing, doing nothing, not earning it, not investing, just giving free money. And then, right? And blacks are required to sit in the back of the bus, sit in the back of the restaurant, use black-only water fountain. Imagine if we had that again. Discrimination, discrimination, discrimination against blacks. They'd lose their fucking minds. I mean, hell, they're committing crimes, shooting at police, like this young punk idiot kid gets pulled over by the cops, shoots, I think, 11 times at the cops. The cops kill him. And the blacks want to riot. At least the family is trying to start that because he was overly killed by the police. Overly killed. Really. They want a race war, folks. They want a civil war. They want us killing each other while they enrich themselves. All right, let's do this. Jolene Uman, who is up next? What are we going to talk about? Chin Music's back with a $4.99 super chat. He said, where did you see the Gonzalez bullshit? I'd like to have it and show people so they vote for Herrera. Oh, okay. That fucking clown. Go to the two big sources for getting just about everything. Well, there's a lot. Let me see. Let me give you a couple of websites. I know I saw it on Gateway Pundit. You'll probably also find it at the Free Beacon and Zero Hedge. Those are really good places to go to get news stories that are covered by everyone else. There we go. Rhino Representative Tony Gonzalez calls his Republican colleagues bad things, likens them to the KKK. What a piece of shit that guy is. He's not a Republican, folks. He isn't. Right? These people have turned our country over to the bankers, to the special interest groups. We're being policed or coerced by the FBI, by the IRS, the ATF, the Department of Justice, the Attorney General's office. Every Democrat Attorney General like Letitia James, they're going to come after all of us, folks. Anyways, thank you for putting that up there for Chin Music. You want this is what Republicans now are saying about you and me. Oh, they pretend like they're talking about the other Republicans, but they're talking about MAGA Republicans. Make America great again. Folks, they don't like Trump. Get this. Over the fucking weekend, did you catch this? Pay close attention. The Democrats are trying to remove President Trump's Secret Service detail. They want him unprotected. I think that the people who are in Secret Service that are protecting President Trump have probably been asked a few questions about their loyalty. Are you going to allow the president to be killed? Right? And I don't think any of them folks would honestly say, yeah, I'd like to see Trump killed. Let me work on his detail. I'm sure there are lie detector tests, stress tests, and other things to find loyalty. And speaking of loyalty, how about our military? I am wondering still and scared to death that these fucking communists are driving out our young men and women who love this country and aren't traitors and treasonous pieces of shit like all those officers in the Pentagon that Barack Hussein, Barry Soetoro, Obama put in the Pentagon. And they have chased out every pro-American officer they can. And if there are pro-American officers in the Pentagon, they're having a hell of a time staying there, I bet. It's unbelievable what's going on, folks. It is so fucking obvious. Get this. Get this. We're almost to 600 people live. We haven't done that in 2 months. Keep sharing this internet address. Hit the thumbs up. Let's keep on fucking going. Get your super chats in, and I'm going to tell you about this. Are you ready? It is so bad. It is so obvious. It is so filthy what the Democrats are doing and the Democrat voters. It is so filthy that even the creepy porn lawyer, Michael Avenatti, the guy who is representing Stormy Daniels, the hoe, the porn star hoe, he even thought he was going to run as a Democrat candidate. He was an anti-Trumper. He thought he was going to get rich fucking Trump over years ago. And guess what? He got hung out to dry. He's in prison now. They fucking sent him to prison, creepy porn liar. He's so pissed off at getting screwed over and watching the Democrats fuck this country up that guess what? He is willing to testify on behalf of Donald Trump in the hush money case. He knows stuff. Well, I think he's not supposed to say anything. You know, a lawyer can't say anything because of attorney-client privilege. Well, what have the Democrats done with that fucking thing? I think Michael Cohen, who was Trump's attorney, who apparently allegedly had an affair, long-running affair with Stormy Daniels, the whore, right? I mean, who would want to touch that thing? Good God. She's had more trains go through her tunnel, folks, than the fucking Lincoln Tunnel in New York. Anyways, the creepy porn lawyer knows all the bullshit and details. Well, if the lawyers for Trump were told there is no attorney-client privilege, if the lawyers for Trump were told there's no presidential immunity, why should Stormy Daniels have attorney-client privilege? She shouldn't. As well as all the Democrats and all the lies that the creepy porn lawyer, Michael Avenatti, can reveal. These are some dirty fuckers, people. Dirty. We'll talk more about censorship, silencing, and government corruption. But first, let's get to more of your super chat donations. Jolene, who's up next? What do we want to talk about? What's on their mind? What is happening? And it is Steve Demetrius. He says, lasting change, government fully out of public education. Well, okay. government education, public education. Steve, great fucking topic. Prior to the United States of America being here, guess what kind of education was required? None. If you could afford education, if you were lucky enough to have books and a teacher in America or anywhere in the world, folks, you got some education. The founding fathers, and as I'm sure the founding mothers as well, wanted education in this country for everyone, because an ignorant population can be controlled. A silenced population can be controlled. First Amendment of the Constitution, Bill of Rights, number 1, right out the fucking gate, freedom of speech, the ability to talk, listen, hear, share, think, print, publish, promote, and lie if you want to even. And then they said, education. It is required in this country, so we cannot be fooled again. But then the federal government didn't say, they didn't just require, you will send kids to school. They said, now we're going to control what they learn. And the federal fucking fucked up Washington, D.C. government says that if they give $1 to any school or any school benefits from a federal program, then they have to follow federal guidelines. Give them their fucking money back or get your kids out of the public education system, because they're not learning a fucking thing except cut your own dick off. Don't say a word about trans. In fact, you have to support the LGBT fruitcakes. You have to support Palestine. You have to support terrorism. You have to support fucking communism. Does anyone even understand that communists have killed 100 million of their own people? That's not counting other countries they have conquered and murdered. Communists. And they're pushing for communism again. You either evolve and learn, right, Mr. Skylight, or you repeat. And we're heading for a big rinse and repeat cycle between the communist shit, the terrorist shit, the fascist shit. It's coming. Folks, how did Hitler silence his opposition before becoming a dictator? How did he do it? How did Hitler silence his opposition? He became the chancellor. And then, well, we had a Reichstag fire and he became the Führer, the dictator. Well, we haven't got there yet. But Biden is proposing, folks, get this, over the weekend, Biden, it's on the table in the White House, and they haven't decided if they're going to do it yet or not. A national emergency over the climate. A national emergency, meaning Biden can suspend the Constitution because of climate crisis. I don't hear any climate crisis in the bunker. I was outside earlier. I didn't hear it then. I called friends and family and said, how's your climate? Everything's normal. Yeah, it rains, it snows, the wind blows, the sun shines, clouds come, clouds go. About the only crisis is government fucking with our climate with chemtrails. But let's turn it back to Dimitri, Steve's 223 super chat donation. Yeah, people need to be educated. Public education for kids, forget it. Homeschool, private, get away from the government. All you have to do is educate your kids and you meet the requirements. Don't take a single fucking federal dollar, even though they're your dollars in the first place. Thank you, Steve. Let's move on if we shall. These people, folks. Freedom seeds for all. Freedom seeds for all. Who's next, Jolene? Who do we want to put up there? It is Dan Erickson with a $50 super chat donation. Hitler silenced his opposition before becoming the Führer. You know how he did it? He had his Gestapo, his little private police club. Well, guess what? Christopher Wray was confronted. That's right. The head of the FBI was confronted about a female January 6th prisoner during his congressional testimony. So guess what? because her name came up. The FBI went back and threatened and harassed her more. They went after her some more as a January 6th protester, threatening her, harassing her, because her name came up in Congress. What a bunch of fucking cowards. Okay, Dan Erickson, $50 super chat donation. This, my friend, is a Glenn Levitt 15. This, down the hatch. Semper Fi. Thank you, brother. Like mother's milk. Down the hatch. This is serious business, folks. I know. We try and have fun. We want to talk about everything. Keep your head on your shoulders. Keep cool. You want to let off some steam? Go take some shooting, right? Go to the gym, get some exercise, right chin music. Get prepared. Dan Erickson says, as far as debt in our country is approaching $37 trillion. We're not going to vote that away either. We're financially in big, big trouble. If I manage my money like the U.S. government does, I would be homeless. No, you wouldn't be homeless, Dan. You would be a prisoner, a slave on a plantation. Because not only do you not own anything, you owe everyone. And they'll make you pay it back. Hey, look, you don't pay your fucking taxes to the federal government. You think they're going to let you go? I read over the weekend about some program it's called a Fresh Start with the IRS. My ass, Fresh Start. You don't pay your fucking taxes. You don't file. They come and get you. They will assess you. They'll take whatever you have. They'll throw your ass in prison. We're not supposed to have debtors' prisons in this country. Folks, we're this close to 600 people live. Get more people here. I want to see it hit and bump 600. We're an hour and 15 minutes in. The president of the United States, the POTUS piece of shit, Joe Biden, can't get more than 300-400 people live at any moment. And certainly not for more than 2 or 3 minutes, because all he does is babble and make no fucking sense. You come here, we'll talk for hours, and it'll all make sense by the time we get it out in the open. Yeah, $37 trillion in debt. Someone asked the other day about the $1 trillion coin or the gazillion dollar coin, the bill that they could print or mint the coin and pay it off. They'll go into debt faster anyways because we're in debt. Folks, we pay over $1 trillion a year just in debt service. Unfucking believable, unconscionable, unsustainable. Plus, get this. Fucking get this, Dan. Pay attention here, man. Months ago, shortly after, Russia said, look, we're tired of you killing our people, Ukraine. We're tired of you threatening our country, NATO. We're going to take back, right, what is Russian territory, or rather, let me rephrase that. I said it wrong. The eastern provinces of Ukraine, like counties or states, said, we're tired of being killed and taken advantage of by Kiev, by the little light in the loafers fruitcake, Zelensky. We want to be free from that. They voted and said, we're no longer part of Ukraine. We want to be part of the Russian Federation. All right, they did that. So America, or rather, not America, because that's you and me, the United States government. The United States is a corporation based out of Washington, D.C. The United States said, all the money that you loaned us, Russia, and we gave you bonds, treasury bills, you don't get to have them. They froze the Russian money, folks. $500 billion. The United States government froze of Russia's. Guess what they're doing now? Janet Yellen was down in Brazil a couple of weeks ago saying we need to confiscate that. Not just freeze it, but steal it from them. They've been talking about it. Well, now they're going to do it. They're going to steal Russia's money. Oh, it's to pay back Ukraine. Oh, okay, so we're going to give $500 billion to rebuild Ukraine? I guarantee they're not going to rebuild shit. They are buying off the politicians, folks. That's what this is about. Why do you think all those Republicans voted They're not just giving $60 billion to Ukraine. That's a guarantee. They're saying you will pay us back for it. Not me and you, not America. These people are all on the take, folks. There is no other explanation that they are being promised obscene amounts of money to fuck us over. Obscene amounts of money. Don't worry, they are being threatened by the FBI. Don't worry about it, folks. They are getting that kind of attention from the FBI. Unbelievable. Unfucking believable. I never imagined it would go this far. What do you want to talk about? It's your show. It is Sunday Night Live. This is the Zoo. That's the super chat button. You've also got what? Venmo, PayPal, CashApp. If you've got something to say. They're trying to push us into war. They're pushing us into a civil war. They're pushing us into a race war. They're pushing us into an ethnic war, a religious war, World War III, a nuclear war. They're pushing in all these directions. What is it that they think they know and that they think is going to happen? I don't know what they're fucking thinking. I don't know, but get this. There's some funny shit. You know that guy that set himself on fire outside of the Trump trial in New York City? He's dead. Oh, he lived for a little while in the hospital, but now he's dead. Dead ski. Gone. Right? Set himself on fire. Wait, no Bud Light. No, he's dead. The one interesting thing about that, apart from his manifesto that no one's going to fucking read because no one cares, he's another communist piece of shit. They tried saying he was a Trump supporter and that he was setting fire to himself as a protest against Trump. No, sorry. He is a fucking Bernie Sanders communist supporter. But he did have a sign that was quite interesting. And it stated that Biden and Trump are a uniparty. And that it's all a giant sham. Now, I don't know how right or wrong this guy was with respect to that. Is Trump really part of the deep state? You know who the deep state is.
They want to eliminate what they call the deep state. The deep state is a cadre of professionals dedicated to honoring the Constitution, the laws of this country, and carrying out the policies of the Congress and the president. The deep...
Yeah, the Constitution, my ass. Right? Right? This guy set himself on fire. He's a Bernie Sanders communist. But he did note, I don't know about Trump because they're trying to put Trump in the grave. They're trying to put him in jail. They're trying to take all his fucking money. I don't think he's a willing participant in this game. But I do believe the Republicans are, and that there is a uniparty effort now, and all they care about is themselves. Whether they think they're going to get a fucking ride on the rocket to some utopia in the sky while the rest of the world burns. And in fact, some jackass tried saying something smart like, yeah, if you take on the U.S. military, they'll smoke you because they got bigger guns. I'm like, oh, well, how did that work for us in Vietnam? How'd that work for us in Afghanistan? How'd it work for the Soviets in Afghanistan? Right? Freedom fighters, right? They just don't want to go away. It's a mess. People fucking die everywhere. It's a mess. What you and I need to be is moral and decent. We need to understand our role in all of this. What role can you serve? What can I do to make America a better place and protect us, my family, you, our fellow citizens that love this country? What can we do? Right? I think understanding the law is important. I think understanding your duties as a citizen and as a Christian is very important. Now get this. This fucking killed me. Remember, I just made the Bud Light joke about that jackass killing himself, right? That was a commercial at one point, right? People were they were asking for a light, and there was like, no, Bud Light. Well, Bud Light is back in the news with transgender idiot activist, transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney. That's right. the child he's a groomer. He's grooming children to be a sex toy through his social media. He's been invited to speak at a Catholic St. Louis University. That's right, transgender fruitcake who wants children to drink Bud Light. Folks, I never imagined churches or church organizations would ever become openly perverted like this. Last week, I reported on the giant church in Texas that had a male stripper at church. The pastor tried stopping it. They threw him out. Unfucking believable. We're almost at 600 people live. The number is shooting up again. Hit the thumbs up, folks. Share that internet address. Let's hit 600 and keep going. And yeah, Dylan Mulvaney won't go away. Won't go away. It's on, folks. It's on. These fucking people. It's on. Get prepared. Shit has hit the fan. It's going to get nasty. 2024 is going to get ugly. Once again, I don't care what color you are. Be a good person. Everyone I meet of color, nice. On TV, they all look like they hate me because I'm white, because that's what they're reporting. White men are the most dangerous people in America because they got guns. Crazy stuff, folks. They got crazy shit. Well, speaking of crazy, boxer Ryan Garcia, he was said to be crazy because he made a statement to the world before the fight he had. And he defeated the undefeated WBC champion Devin Haney. But he was called crazy for calling out all the child trafficking. Ryan Garcia, I believe, is a Mexican. He called it out. Good. Good. And he's king for a day. Now keep talking about it, champ. And we all need to keep talking about what they're doing, whether it's to our military, our children, our law, our political system, nationally, internationally. Share what you know to be true. This Ryan Garcia guy, I don't care if he is a half-dead boxer. He's moral and decent if he's calling out that this is wrong. Right? And speaking of wrong, right, and getting called out on it, of all places, I believe it's Seattle, a child predator. I think he's worse than that. A child molester, a child rapist, showed up at a hotel room in Seattle. And inside that room, police were waiting. They opened the door when he knocked. He thought he was going to find himself 2 little girls under the age of 15 waiting for him. That's what he thought was going to happen. Well, he pulled the gun on the police. The police shot him, took him out. Good. Good, folks. I don't care who does it. The bad guys need to be erased. Erased. The bad guys need to be taken out. Okay, let's do it. We're at we're at an hour and 25 minutes, almost an hour and a half in. We're at 599 people live. I think I saw 600 flash. That's great news, folks. People are realizing they better fucking get prepared. They better pay attention. They better come here if they want to hear facts, if they want to hear truth, if they want to know what the fuck's going on and what they can do about it. It is go time, folks. Get active. Activate yourself. Don't wait for someone else to get out there and wake people up. You do it. You be the hero. You be the king or queen for a day, and then do it again and keep waking people up. Tell them to be preppers, even if it's buying an extra couple cans of food a week. Get them prepared. Let them know that shit's going down. Pay attention to all the people, right, who are threatening to kill us, whether it's Democrat teachers, Democrat Congress, illegal aliens, these radical, violent gangs that are here in America. They're crazy. Okay, Jolene, what's up? What do we got? Who's next? Pow. We got Bioxo77 with the $1.99 super chat donation. And he says, apparently Burning Man was suing the Clintons. Burning Man is suing the Clintons. I don't know why. I missed that, man. I thought I was paying attention. I missed that one. Wow. I hope they win. I love it when the left attacks the left. Now, Burning Man is a bunch of Who the fuck wants to go out in the Black Rock Desert, which wasn't far from where I used to live in extreme Northern California? It was over the border in Nevada, out in the middle of the fucking desert for a week without any food or water being available. It's a big hippie drug sex commune. It's fucking filthy. And the people that used to drive through my town on the way to Burning Man, I don't care if you're a fucking dentist or a doctor from San Francisco or some. That was what they always said. Oh, it's not just hippies, John. It's professionals. Yeah, I can imagine a professional sitting in his desk just rubbing himself raw, getting excited because he's going to go live in the desert like a fucking criminal fiend, like a homeless vagabond. He just can't wait to go back to Burning Man and get fucking stoned out of his mind and live like a fucking filthy creep. And I don't know if there's any Burning Man people here, and I couldn't give a fuck. I've seen those people. I've seen enough of them. I've seen enough of the fucking homeless. They're mentally deranged. I've seen enough of the drug addicts on the street. I've seen enough of the shit in the street, the fucking needles in the street, this country being destroyed. Oh, don't worry. Governor Newsom can straighten out San Francisco and have all of the homeless swept off the streets, clean the streets in a fucking day. So a communist dictator from China can come visit and they can put up Chinese flags. And then as soon as he's gone, let everything go to shit again. Good. I'm glad Burning Man is suing the fucking Clintons. I'm sure one of their people there, oh, he's a lawyer throughout the year. Oh, shit. Here we go. Oh, this is great. The Burning Man. That Burning Man. Now I know what you're talking about. Oh, man, thank you, sir. He says the burning dude was pictured with Bill Clinton. Some stories allege that he was suing the Clintons, not the hippie concert. I did see this. Thank you for straightening me out. Way over 600 live. The number just bumped up. Pow, 615. Good. Yes, there is a picture of the dude who set himself on fire. He was standing there with Bill Clinton. Apparently, he was suing the Clintons. That burning dead dude, not Burning Man. That's okay. I think my tirade against Burning Man still fucking fits. Apparently suing the Clintons, and oh, interesting. Now, how did he? Right, he's suing the Clintons. Well, he walked out in public, poured flammable liquid on himself, lit it on fire, and emitted a lot of carbon. Why would he do that? He had a manifesto. Why didn't he just put his manifesto out there? You know, if you want someone to read your manifesto, and people don't do exactly what I'm going to describe, do not do what I'm going to say. Go out in public with a shotgun. Don't do this. Do not go out in public with a shotgun in your manifesto and shoot your gun off in the air 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 10 times, as many as you can. Throw the manifesto on the ground. Don't do this. Do not throw your manifesto on the ground and shoot your gun in the air a bunch of times. At least you won't die. Then throw the shotgun to the side, lay on the ground, wait for the police to arrest you. That's better than setting yourself on fire. At least you're going to live, and you'll only be charged with discharging unsafely a weapon in public. But you won't go to jail for 50 years. They'll let you back out. Set yourself on fire, you ain't going to do real well. It's an awful, 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 awful way to die. Wow. These people they're freaks, folks, these left-wingers. Okay, Jolene, who's next? Who is next? Who's up? We got Chin Music with a $4.99 super chat donation. He says, that dude set himself on fire and may be dead, but he will still vote twice. Well, get this, Chin. I bet the son of a bitch votes in multiple states more than once. I mean, listen, since 2020, a lot of work has been done. Since 2020, a lot of work has been done on the voting system. They have audited and discovered that multiple locations around every city, anywhere from a dozen to hundreds of people, share the same house address. They just repeat and register all these names to the same house address. So they're all registered voters, so they can all go vote. And if you show up to vote without an ID, you just say, oh, I am Mark Smith the first. Let me vote. And they go back out and they get back in line and come in and go, I'm Mark Smith the second. And they go out and they come back in and vote again. They go, I'm Mark Smith the third. I'm here to vote. No ID required in a Democrat district. Vote all you fucking want. In other countries around the world, folks, even socialist countries, you're only allowed to vote once, and you have to produce an ID. And you can only produce an ID and vote if you're registered as that one person. You have to be registered. You have to have an identification, be a citizen of the country, and you can only vote one fucking time. And these Democrats here are like, I wish they would make it. I wish they would make it as hard to get a gun as it is to vote. It's like, oh, what? Guns by mail? No, we can't do that. Anyways, thank you very much, Chin Music. He's going to vote. You bet. But no, back to the whole voting thing around the country. Donald Trump and his campaign have promised that there will be thousands and thousands and thousands of vote lawyers, election observers, watchers who are going to go, whether they're paid or not, and make sure these fuckers don't steal the election. Don't believe it for a fucking second. They're going to try and steal it anyway. There were people observing the voting last time. They observed the Democrats putting paper on the glass so they couldn't be seen. They observed the voting stations, right, closing down, saying, we're not going to vote all night. And then they come back the next morning, and lo and behold, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of more ballots were counted all through the night, and the vote was changed to show that Biden won. More people voted than are even living in the districts in many places, as well as places that more people voted than are registered to vote. How the fuck is that even possible? Democrats in office, Democrats who run the elections, and Democrats who voted to put them all there. All Democrats are evil pieces of shit. All of them. Look what they're doing to children. Look at what they're doing to children and unborn children. Tell me they're not evil. They want Satan after school clubs. Tell me they're not evil. They want trans boys to be able to go into girls' locker room. Tell them they're not evil. This fucking weekend, guess what Joe Biden did? He changed the Title IX, which has to do with what men and women are and where they're allowed to be, right? They changed the words. This is called sophistry, when you use the definitional words to create a lie. So that men cannot be prohibited in any scholastic environment, college or K through 12. Men cannot be denied the fact that they're claiming to be women. What happened to women's rights? Where the fuck are all the feminists? They got their head up their ass or up each other's asses. I mean, get this, folks. A little schoolgirl had to go in front of a school board and talk about in graphic detail, folks, how a trans boy student savagely, viciously attacked her friend. And she was next, folks, because this trans student let everyone know that he was going to start beating the shit out of girls, pretending to be a girl. And guess what? The school officials, the counselors, the principals, the vice principals, the teachers did nothing. And it happened. And so this girl tore into them to their face and called them out on it for letting it happen. The girl that did the assaulting wasn't a girl, it was a trans boy. And the one that exposed all this and went to the school board and said, what the fuck did you do, right? She was next on this tranny boys hit list. The school ignored the complaints that assaults were coming. The boy identified as a girl, and we have to believe that gross lie and bullshit. So why not this? Why not this next? Grown men can identify as underage schoolgirls and return to school. After all, facts don't matter. It's just what we identify as. Never mind fucking reality, right? Kind of like that 55-year-old man that identified as a girl and was competing, swimming against other girls, teenage girls. A 55-year-old man identified as a teen girl and was swimming. It's not far from the fucking facts, is it, folks? Grown men identifying as underage girls and enrolling in grade school. If they can get away with that, how about this? Grown men identifying as underage girls going to school, and they can sexually assault underage girls and claim it was consensual because they identify, right, as their actions being friendly and good. Well, no, I was only doing good, nice things. That's how I identify my actions of rape. Of friendliness. Why not have that? I mean, once you start lying and making people believe the fucking lie and subjecting children to the lies, there's no end to it. How about this? Trannies, LGBTQ trannies can beat, rape, rob, and murder because that's what they want. And it's transphobic to try and stop them. Well, folks, trans fruits are doing those things already. Beating, raping, robbing, and indeed even murdering. And the mainstream media and politicians and schools and the courts are covering up the crimes. They're hiding the facts. They're enabling these fruitcakes to get more aggressive. And now the president is doing his part too, making sure that you can't stop it under federal law. Trans men pretending they're girls. They're stealing scholarships, trophies, awards, as well as stealing the innocence of children and the desire to compete. These little girls can't compete with anyone because it's boys everywhere. Loser boys, by the way, who can't win as men, so they're attacking women. And people want to say, I'm a fucking sexist, and I'm a misogynist, and I'm a patriarchal asshole. What about all these fucking men stealing from girls? And liberal women, they don't give a shit about their own daughters because they are more interested in virtue signaling to their evil political groups that they worship. And that's just one small piece of the shit hitting the fan situation we're all dealing with. Are you prepared? Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. What is your plan in your area? I can't tell you what to do in your area because that's your area. I know about my area. We all have where we're at in the 10-mile radius around us, and those are the people that when it gets nasty, we're going to have to fucking deal with. That's who we're going to have to deal with. Jolene, who's up next? We've got Bob Zebko. Bob, it's been a little while. Glad you're back. $10 super chat donation. And he says, John, will this republic even have a national election? What is your take or speculation on the Patriot response? Great question. I'm going to start by quoting Florida Representative Anna Paulina Luna, who was screaming at the fucking Democrats and Republicans in Congress who were screaming, Ukraine, Ukraine, and waving Ukraine flags. She let them have it. Put those damn flags away, right? Because they voted to secure Ukraine's border instead of our own. They voted to give our money to Ukraine and Israel. This republic in the national election, look at what we have as national representation. 70% of the country is done with Ukraine. If we're only 50% Republican, that means even half the fucking Democrats are saying no more. Yet Republican rhinos and Democrats voted for this shit. Voted for it. They're selling us out. This republic is fucked, Bob. Not because the republic failed, but because Democrat voters failed. They voted for these fucking communists. Democrats did. And all these lying piece of shit Republicans that are rhinos, pretending to be Republicans, lying to their fucking voters, getting in office just so they could screw them over. You fucking people sharing it too. Mark my words. Lo and behold, boys, mark my fucking words. You are all going to be held accountable. I'm not threatening anyone. Violence, no. But you will be held accountable. In this life or in the afterlife, one way or the other, or both. Everyone needs to answer. If I have to answer, folks, if I make a nickel, I've got to answer to the IRS. If I go 1 mile over the speed limit, I've got to answer to the police and then the court and then my insurance company. If I make one little tiny fucking mistake, I am held accountable. These people have made some big, big fucking mistakes, and they need to be held accountable. They live somewhere. Their families live somewhere. They have a car and a house somewhere. They all need to be held accountable. Remember who they are, write their fucking names down, find out where they live, know who their family members are, so you can stop by and ask them, hey, where is that representative? Where is that staffer? Where is that senator? We're looking for him because he needs to be held accountable. We're going to have a public hearing. He needs to be in front of the public. We'll call it a town hall meeting. Might feel more like a trial. Might feel more like a tribunal. But we're going to call it a town hall meeting, and he needs to be there to answer for what he's done to this fucking country. I think that needs to happen. We may not have a national election, Bob. They may call it off. We may have a huge false flag. We could have an event, nuclear war, something. As it is, Biden is considering this. Biden is considering a national emergency over the climate. You know, I went outside today in Florida. Guess what it was? It was hot and it was fucking humid. Oh, surprise, surprise. That's what Florida is. It's fucking hot. It's got humidity. How fucking about that? I noticed a couple clouds in the sky. I saw some sunshine. Is that a fucking climate crisis? And if you deny it, you're a climate hoaxist. You're a bad person. You're a conspiracy theorist. In other countries around the world, folks, it is now a crime to deny the climate crisis. Fuck you people. Try me. Try me. Are you tired of it, folks? Are you tired of the illegals? Are you tired of the race baiting? Are you tired of the left-wing terrorists, whether it's about the economy or the ecology, right? The environment. Are you tired of their terrorism over schools and everything that they want? You just fuck them. Oil's bad, right? I mean, get this. This is how fucking stupid they are. In Bloomberg, it's supposed to be a financial news. The columnist there says that anyone who opposes this lab-grown meat, it's not grown. It's not grown. Plants are grown. Lab meat is a fucking scientific wacko experiment where they're putting together different proteins and shit, making lab-grown meat. And they're saying that if you oppose that, you have conservative cultural insecurities. Remember when they came out with the impossible meat and they advertised the fuck out of it? It's impossible meat. Oh, it tastes just like meat. No one bought it. They sent it to Burger King, McDonald's, fucking Wendy's. Name your fast food joint. Impossible meat. No one fucking bought it. Who wants to buy a fucking disgusting, filthy veggie burger that is actually yeast crap? Right? Yeast eating stuff and crapping out impossible meat. They're changing the name. It's not impossible meat. Now it's lab-grown meat. They even put a picture of a fucking cow and called it beef. It's lab-grown beef. No, it's not. Beef comes from a fucking cow. You know who allows them to say this shit? Congress. Your food is not food. Congress allows them, the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA and the USDA, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, allow them to call that beef. It's not fucking beef. It's laboratory puke blended to be delicious. I'm not fucking buying it. That's how fucked up these left-wingers are, folks. That's what they're doing to all of us. That's what they're doing to all of us. Unbelievable. Unfucking believable. Who's next? Who has something to say? We're at 1 hour and 45 minutes, and Uman says voting is proof that there is life after death. I knew you were going to say something like that. And you are reincarnated as a Democrat. I knew it. I knew you couldn't let it go. You had to come after me. Thank you. Yeah. Life after death. People, after they die, vote. And they vote Democrat. You know what that tells me? That they have voting in hell. That's correct. They have voting in hell. Proof that life after death. Wow. Is that life after death or reincarnation? We'll tune in next week. We'll talk about that. Thank you, Mr. Uman. I appreciate that. Jolene, don't let him do that to me anymore. And it's Greg Madera with a $5 super chat donation. He said, here's an idea. Have sleepy Joe Biden removed from the 2024 ballot in red states. You know what's amazing about this, Greg, is Sleepy Joe, potato fuckhead, let's go Brandon, Joe Biden is not even going to be on the ballot in blue states. There are at least 2 states that have a timeline cutoff for announcing your candidacy as a president or announcing yourself as a presidential candidate. And the Democrat Party doesn't want to say Joe Biden is the next president. And they're running out of time and they won't fucking do it. You know why? Because they want to replace him. So Joe Biden will not be on the ballot, even though he's the Democrat nominee, even though he's the president. He will not be on at least 2 state ballots because you have to submit the name. In other words, yeah, they got to submit the name, certify it, and then print the fucking ballots. Joe Biden doesn't want to do that. But they're going to have to get rid of him. Joe Biden is going to slip on a fucking banana peel, fall down a staircase, get tangled up on a fucking tricycle, choke on a fucking hot dog, have a banana stuck in his ass, and he's going to die of COVID-12. And then we'll all feel terrible and want to vote for the next Democrat. You know who it is? The only one they have? Kamala fucking Harris, and nobody wants her. And by the way, Kamala Harris met with fat-ass Fannie Willis, in the White House, I believe, allegedly. And they're trying to hide that. Shit has hit the fan, folks. It is on. It is coming. Sleepy Joe doesn't stand a fucking chance. They're going to have to lie. How can a man who's not going to be on the ballot in those states, I bet he wins those fucking states. Unbelievable. They should be suing already, saying, we see this, we know it, it's coming. You cannot put him on the state ballot. You cannot say he's won that fucking state. They'll probably say that in the state of Atlanta, Georgia. That's right, the state of Atlanta. I said that on purpose because Atlanta is speaking for all of Georgia now. There were 91 million write-in votes in Atlanta, Georgia alone. And people will go, oh, okay, fine then. Unfucking believable. Unbelievable. Count on it. It's going to happen. Count on it. Jolene, man, who's next? Let's keep going with these super chats. I know we're running out of time, but hey, we've got some more fun. Right? More fun. Shit is at the fan. Oh. And by the way, thank you everyone for the scotches. Scotch. These $50 super chat donations have been great. I appreciate it. Kind of kept my brains limber. Get this, folks. The Democrats have fucked it up awfully bad. And what gets me is all the corporations, Black Lives Matter. Do you think they're powerless? Do you think they disappeared? Man, how many billions of dollars, billions, was contributed to Black Lives Matter by U.S. corporations? Do you remember the number? It was over $1 billion. It was over $2 billion. It was over $10 billion. It was over $20 billion. I want somebody to put the actual number into the chat, and let's make Uman find it. I can't make Uman do anything. I know he spends $10,000 a week just to be the main moderator. Yeah, he contributes. No, he doesn't. He does what he does, folks, for nothing. No dollars. But BLM got, I don't want to say the actual number. It'll come out and Uman will see it. Billions and billions and billions of fucking dollars were contributed to a group of black transsexual Marxists. That's exactly what BLM is, by the way. Black transsexual Marxists. And people took a knee to that shit, and corporations paid billions of dollars. Well, get this. These left-wing Marxist scumbags, they don't care if you gave them money or not. In New York, Home Depot has had to hire private security with guard dogs to protect their customers from migrant thieves, rapists, and murderers. Because people don't feel safe. They're not going to Home Depot. They show up at Home Depot and they're being inundated with beggars, panhandlers, and threats. Thanks, Biden. And thank you, Democrat voters. I'm holding all Democrats responsible. And I will know when I talk to a Democrat if they pretend to be a Republican. Because I'll ask them questions like, tell me how much you love Trump. That's not a question. That's a fucking command. You love Trump? Oh, tell me how much you love Trump. You keep asking them about Trump. Keep asking them about Trump. It was billions. It's fucking billions. I mean, if it was only 90 million, I'd be shocked. Because BLM has bought several multi-million-dollar homes in the Los Angeles area. There was another BLM activist who just was arrested for fraud in millions of dollars. Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, if it's only 90 million, I'll be shocked. I'll eat my own words. I'll eat a crow sandwich. I could be wrong. Maybe I read it wrong. But I don't think it was $90 million. Every major corporation in this country coughed up millions of dollars to BLM so that their stores wouldn't be destroyed and burned and fucking looted because they didn't want to appear to be racist. Remember that shit? They pushed that bullshit down everyone's throat so bad, the police got on their knees. An act of submission, an act of recognizing the person in front of you as a regent, a king, a superior, a sovereign. No one in this fucking country is required to get on their fucking knees. Now you go to court, you will be asked to swear on the Holy Bible, to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in testimony. Nobody is required to get on their fucking knee when a judge comes in the room. You're required to stand up. That's because the judge is supposed to have the Holy Bible in his hand. The reverence was not for the judge, but for the judgment that was coming under morality and decency, the Bible. No one's required ever in this fucking country to get on their fucking knees. But BLM forced people to. So you guess how I fucking like that shit. All right, man, you're not taking that down because we haven't found a better number. Nope, okay, I'm going to go down. Oh, it's gone now. I could have sworn, though, folks, billions. What are they doing with that fucking money? The number was so big that they could pay every person who was screaming for reparations lots of money to shut them up. But BLM, they're not going to give up that money. That's their money. I don't know what they're going to do with it. Maybe it was only 90 million. Maybe I'm completely wrong. I'll have to look that up. I feel guilty now. Not about BLM, but about getting the number wrong and not having my shit straight. And once again, when I make a mistake, I'll own it. Am I wrong about communists? No, they killed 100 million fucking people. Am I wrong about trannies? No, they are murderous, thieving, violent scumbags. All of them? No. Many of them? Yes. How many? We don't know because they all haven't gone off yet. They keep getting arrested. They keep getting caught committing heinous fucking crimes against children. Awful fucking people. Folks, I'm pissed off and with good reason. With good reason. With good reason. Unbelievable, folks. Unbelievable. I mean, get this. Jolene's we got some more super chats. Let's do them. Let's do them before I go off on the next fucking topic. Bioxo's back with another $4.99 super chat donation. He says, speaking of lab-grown meat, a national recall for ground beef because it had E. coli was just released. Oh, yeah, you don't want that meat. It's got E. coli. You need our special lab-grown protein. Because, well, E. coli and bacteria can't live on it because it's not fucking food. Right? If you think you're not going to get E. coli and worse, this shit coming out of the labs, now fortified with mRNA. A friend of mine the other day said, you know what? I was shopping at what's that hippie granola eating food store called Whole Foods. She was buying from Whole Foods because she believed that Whole Foods had no GMO. And she went by the bakery and she goes, I looked at the fucking bakery sign and it said, we have ingredients that have genetically modified organisms in them. She goes, what's the fucking point of paying extra money to eat at Whole Foods if they're still putting shit in the food and they don't know? Anyways, Biaxo, thank you. Good to know that E. coli is in our food. That's why you cook the food. You kill the germs. That's, you kill bacteria. You kill stuff by cooking your food. Don't eat ground beef raw, folks. Sorry. Don't eat ground beef raw. Good recommendation, healthy recommendation. Cook your food. Cook your food. These leftist folks are going to continue to put shit in your food. It's coming. The lies. We've got more super chat donations. We're at the end of the show. Let's get them in. And we'll keep going. Dan Erickson with a $2 super chat. He says, hey, we're in big trouble for certain. No doubts, man. No doubts. I mean, get this. Get this, Dan. Fuck. Everyone's hit the nail on the head. And thank you for the scotch earlier. Get this, right? Are you a patriot or are you a Putin asset? I mean, big trouble? You bet, Dan. If you vote to send our money to another country while waving their flag, you're an American patriot. If you vote to keep your money, our money in our country to fund our domestic priorities like the border, our veterans, our infrastructure, you're going to be called a foreign agent, a Russian asset, a puppet of Putin, because you don't want to send your money to help another country that is a fucking money laundering operation. That's how backwards it is. We're 180 degrees out of phase. Thank you, Dan. Jolene, who do we got up next? Who is here? Who has something to say? Chelsea Polzine is back with a $19.99 super chat donation and says this. I love this channel. Good. This is the Prepared Mind channel. She says, thank God my daughter got through school unscathed. Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, thank God. My last son graduated high school in 2019. And he almost didn't make it through school unscathed. My older son got popped in the fucking jaw because he smarted off and someone of another ethnic persuasion punched him for it. I said, wow, did you learn your fucking lesson? You want to smart off? You're going to fight. That's what happens. My other son liked to fight, but he was threatened with physical violence, sodomy, rape by so-called transgenders in his school. And I don't worry about Lucas a bit, folks. I love that man. He's a man now and a father and an American, and he fucks people up. I'm glad he made it through school, though he almost didn't as well, unscathed. He was scathed. I'm like, dude, what happened today? Got in a fight. Did you win? Fuck yeah, Dad. Good. Your daughter, girls shouldn't be fighting. You know what I've seen all weekend? Videos of girls in school having to fight to defend themselves. That girl a couple weeks ago got her head slammed in the fucking concrete by that fucking animal. I understand a fight, folks. A good punch here, a punch there. You figure shit out. Slamming someone's fucking head in the concrete multiple times, it's not fighting. That's attempted murder. Now, Chelsea, you say this. I love this channel. Thank God my daughter got through school unscathed. She will vote this year and is a normal thinking citizen. Government brainwashing didn't get her. God bless her and you and your family for being strong, moral, decent. And I'm glad your daughter's intelligent enough to avoid getting sucked into the trap of, well, if you're not woke, then you're a piece of shit, white supremacist. Oh, yeah, you're a bad person. You're a Nazi. I have family members that have fallen for that shit. And they fucking fell from, I'm going to say, God's grace, using their own fucking brain, and now they're allowing someone else's brain to make decisions for them. That may be a great way to describe it to your kids and grandkids. If you're not thinking for yourself, you're letting someone else use you. You're their slave. You're their puppet. There's some fucking puppetry. Chelsea, God bless you. Semper Fi. Keep kicking ass. Talk to people. Wake them up. Get them to start prepping. Get prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. And your plan. Know what to do in an emergency. Whether it's a bridge collapse, a nuclear war, right? Get potassium iodide. You can buy it right off of Amazon. Potassium iodide tablets. In the event of nuclear war, you take them, and that is your protection against being irradiated and getting thyroid cancer and fucking dying. That's the only thing you need to take, the only thing you can take. And then being prepared up here, being free and thinking for yourself, trusting your gut, your heart, your instinct, your intellect. That's how you win. And yeah, Mr. Skylight's right. A lot of people are going to fucking die. I don't plan on being one of them. I plan on being alive and helping this country fight, no matter what that fight is. It's going to get ugly and stupid, though, folks. It's going to get ugly and stupid. By the way, now I'm going to reserve comment. I don't want to tell you guys this yet. Jolene, who's next? What do we have going on? Got 500 people here live. And Nelson Garcia checks in with a last-minute super chat donation of $49.99. And I'm going to end the show, with a Glenn Levitt 15. Good golly. Oh, man. Now, of course, Nelson has an avatar there. Looks like a good one that has quite a message in it. Wow. Good stuff. Mighty good. Smooth. Mother's milk. Thank you, Nelson Garcia. Thank you very much. Semper Fi to you. If we get your question in, it's not in yet. That'll be helpful. Jolene, Oliver, ooh man, it's John McGinnis with a $3 super sticker. And he says this: hello, I just popped into the chat. You were speaking of the money being sent to other countries. Question: how do you feel about folks that want to stand by another country versus on it? Hey, look, if you want to support another country, fine. Hey, look, if you want to believe that China owns Taiwan, believe it. I don't give a fuck as long as you're not trying to hurt me or this country, right? You know, if you support Israel, great. Support Israel. Don't take my tax money and send it to Israel. Don't take my tax money and send it to fucking Iran. The Biden administration has sent money to both sides of that fucking fight that is going to turn into a nuclear war. If you want to support Ukraine, great. If you think Ukraine is great, I think they're a bunch of fucking Nazis. The civilians, I don't know about. All I know is they're having a fucking party on our money. If you want to support Russia, fine. I understand why. Russia hasn't done anything to the rest of the world except sit in Russia and sell oil, uranium, coal, natural gas to help support Europe, its economy, and to keep them from fucking freezing all winter. I get why you would support Russia. I just know that Russia is fighting Ukraine and Ukraine's fighting Russia and America is supporting Ukraine. I don't want to support war at all. Fuck them. If you guys want to fight in another country, you fight and you pay for it. Stop stealing my fucking money and the money of America. We have way too many problems here. If you want to, right? That's how I feel about it, right? And I'm glad you popped into the chat. We've been talking a lot about this, but your angle, Mr. McGinnis, is a good one, right? How do I feel about folks that want to stand by another country? Fine. Look, if you like communism, go live in a fucking communist country. If you like socialism, go find a socialist country. If you want Sharia law, great. Go to a country that has it. Right? If you want that, go there. If you want to support it, send your own fucking money. If you're so inspired to fight for another country, get on a plane and go fight for them in their war. Get the fuck out of my country. I think I've made it pretty clear. Anyways, it is a great topic. I don't know where you stand, John, except I know you're an American. Okay. I mean, listen, you may have a reason to support South Korea or North Korea. I don't, fine. You want to talk about it? Talk about it. But don't take my fucking money. Don't make American soldiers, Marines, fucking sailors go die. Right? Like this cocksucker, and he truly is one. You know, Lindsey, Lighten the Loafers Graham, and the rest of these bastards in Congress. Senator, representatives, doesn't matter. They want to have a war. Are they going to go fight the fucking war? Are they spending their fucking money? No. No, no, and no. They're spending our money and sending our kids, not their own families, and certainly not themselves. They are not Russian assets, our Congress. They're FBI assets. They're banking assets. They're Illuminati assets. That's who they are and what they are. Thank you, John. Very good. I appreciate it. And I appreciate the time-to-time emails you send me to let me know what's going on in your world and what you're thinking. I appreciate it very much. And Uman says, Nelson's question is starred. Here it is. Nelson Garcia says, John, have you heard of Biden's daughter diary that was left in a hotel and someone found it? And it was about sexual abuse. Check it out. I've checked it out. Thank you, Nelson Garcia. Yeah. The daughter of Joe Biden, for some reason, took her diary that she wrote as a child, an underage little girl, and she left the diary in a hotel room. And a woman found the diary, and she opened the diary, and she read the diary, and she let other people know what the contents of the diary were. And this is Biden showering with his daughter. She was either a preteen or a young teen. And there were other things. Yeah, it's sexual abuse. And this is another thing. All this bullshit about trans men are men. I'm sorry, trans men are women. And so they can go into women's locker rooms. Listen, there's a difference between getting undressed and going in a shower and then coming back and getting dressed. There's a difference between that and taking your clothes off and standing in front of women and wagging your fucking dick in their face and laughing about it and playing with yourself in front of them. That's a fucking crime. It's a crime when a man does it to children, women, or other men even. It's a fucking crime to expose your genitals to other people. There's a difference between getting naked and taking a shower and exposing yourself. But Democrats want to stand there and go, oh, no, it's fine for a man who pretends to be a woman to wag his dick in front of a little girl's face in a locker room at a gym or a swimming pool. That's just fine. How the fuck can that be fine? And Biden, he may as well be one of them. He doesn't even pretend to be a woman. He just wags. Never mind. Read the diary yourself. I read it. I read enough about it. Yeah. Oh, by the way, she is being abused. Not the daughter. The woman who found it, she's being charged. She's being sued. She's going to be prosecuted. Whether it's civil or criminal, she's going to pay a price for exposing the president of the United States as a fucking pervert and a pedophile. Allegedly. Wow. Just fucking wow. Thank you, Nelson. Thank you, Uman. Are we wrapped up? Have we gone through everything? Have we gone through everything? Thank you, Jolene. I appreciate that. Jolene says she appreciates and values everything you guys have to say. And the Biden regime, folks, did proudly abolish Title IX. It's going to force women to allow biological men in their locker rooms. And I wasn't making that up. Jolene really is appreciative, and she's a great person. Anyways, yeah, Biden, they want biological men in locker rooms. They want biological men in women's sports, in their bathrooms. And so I'm going to ask you this. The president of the United States doesn't have dictatorial powers? Yes, he does, folks. Are you certain he doesn't? Because he can allow men into women's bathrooms, locker rooms, sports, in schools, and if you get in the way, he'll sue you. He can claim that there's a national climate emergency and suspend all or portions of the Constitution under all those executive orders. Folks, it's not legal. I'm sorry. It's not lawful, but it is legal. There's a difference between law and statute. There's a difference, and they fucking know it. But everyone's been conditioned to believe that if it's a statute, it's legal. Taxes is legalized theft. Taxes is another person or group of people demanding you give them money or they'll put a gun to your head, arrest you, and throw you in prison. The government legally steals from you, but it's not lawful. It's the government claiming authority and power for itself because it says so. That's what a burglar says, or a highwayman. They say, we want your money, give it to us. It's no different than the government, except the government isn't honest. They say, well, we have the authority, and therefore you really have to. You have a civic duty that when we point a gun at you, you give us your money. Don't pay your taxes and see how you are visited with letters and threats, confiscation of your wealth, and ultimately someone with a gun knocking on your door. Because they'll tell you to go to court so they can make it appear to be legitimate. Just because you're standing in front of a man who's wearing a black dress, who's sitting in a chair that's up higher than your chair, that doesn't make it lawful. It doesn't make it legitimate. It just means that they have authority over you because they have more physical power and they're willing to shoot you and kill you. Period. Fucking period, folks. Period. Right. The FISA bill, by the way. And this did come from John. He said, gee, John, here's another piece of news in the nosy fucking surveillance category. The FISA bill, which was passed, includes vast new additional surveillance powers that are going to force businesses to spy against us. The FISA bill that was just repassed, re-upped by MAGA Mike Johnson and all those fucking Republicans and Democrats, I hold them all responsible. Democrats and the people that vote for Democrats are responsible because now businesses, corporations are going to be required by the federal government to do what? To give information about you to the government when they demand it. You bet. You bet. It's unbelievable, folks. Chance favors the prepared mind. Are you ready for what's coming? Are you prepared? God bless America and Godspeed to you in our fight. Semper Fi means always faithful. Get ready, folks. It's going to get nasty. This week is going to have some incredible, crazy shit. I'll see you tomorrow, 0 dark 30.